What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, well-renowned former trainer of the year, former world champion, Mexican superstar, now well-renowned trainer, Robert Garcia, who was a world champion when he was a professional and is a well-renowned, world-class trainer. And he trained also his brother and four-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer, who is a future Hall of Famer in superstar boxer Hall of Famer Mikey Garcia. Well, Robbie Garcia, he weighs in and gives his thoughts on two-time trainer of the year, well-renowned trainer, future Hall of Famer Derrick James. Now, I believe Robbie Garcia is a future Hall of Famer as a trainer, and I believe that Derrick James is a future Hall of Famer as a trainer. But Robbie Garcia, he weighed in on Derrick James struggling in this year, in 2023. He had major setbacks. The two type fighters under his stable, which was now former unified three-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl the True Spence Jr., who is now 28 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach, and also three-time junior middleweight world champion, now former undisputed junior middleweight world champion, but he's still the unified junior middleweight world champion superstar boxer, JERMELL Ironman Charlo, who is now 35 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 19 wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'11.5" with a 73.5-inch arm reach. With that said, they both suffered major losses in the biggest fight of their careers. Errol Spence took on undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, now the reigning undisputed welterweight world champion, who is widely acknowledged and recognized as the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Crawford is 40 wins, no losses, no draws, 31 big wins by way of knockout, 36 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. They fought July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, and Terrence Crawford absolutely dominated Errol Spence. He dropped him in the second round, twice in the 7th round, and stopped him in the 9th round. And then Jermell Charlo, in the biggest fight of his career, he took on 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is widely considered to be the face of the sport of boxing, top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and also is the undisputed super middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is now 60 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. Yes, they took on some of the best competition, but they too were considered to be top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world in Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence. And both of their losses was non-competitive. That's where the problem comes in, is that Errol Spence wasn't competitive against Terrence Crawford, and Jermell Charlo wasn't competitive against Canelo Alvarez. Then he also had undefeated lightweight star title contender, Frank the Ghost Martin, who in his last fight, Frank Martin, well, he didn't look good in his fight, okay? Now, in the end of his fight, he did look better, but he didn't look good in the beginning of his fight. The 3/4 of his fight, he didn't look good against a fighter he was supposed to have showcase his talents against. And he didn't do that. Now, in the end of the fight, he dropped his opponent twice and he won the fight. But again, he didn't look that great in the fight. Okay? And many people believe it was strategy, it was preparation. That's the reason why many people are skeptical about Derrick James. Okay? It's not so much of, the fight is losing, it's how they're losing and how they're looking in the ring. Now he has Ryan Garcia, who is a Mexican-American lightweight, junior welterweight, now superstar title contender. Ryan Garcia is coming off of a knockout loss to Gervonta Tank Davis. He'll be under the tutelage of Derrick James December 2nd. So Frank Martin in his last fight, Frank Martin is 18 wins, no losses, no draw, 12 win by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach. He fought Artin Haratunian, and he was supposed to have a showcase fight against this opponent who had 12 wins, no losses, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'7.5", right? So this was supposed to be a showcase fight for Frank Martin, and he didn't look good in this fight until the end of the fight. Now, I will say this. I believe that it was more so on Frank Martin not listening to Derrick James more so than it was actually um, Derrick James' teachings and tutelage. I think it was more so Frank Martin just simply, not giving his best attention and commitment, when Derrick James was telling him what to do, and then at the end of it, towards the end, he started listening to to Derrick James, and when he started listening to Derrick James in the end, he got the 2 knockdowns. Derrick James was pleading with him to come forward. He ended up getting the 2 knockdowns and dominating the fight, right? So with that said, now you look at the fight with Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. Again, Jermell Charlo simply was not listening in the fight. Derrick James was pleading for him to get aggressive. He was telling him, "You're losing the fight. You need to get more aggressive." And Jermell Charlo, he was timid. He wasn't listening. He wasn't committed. He was non-committal the entire night. And so, again, that's not on Derrick James. He can teach you whatever he wants. He can't fight for you. But Robert Garcia believes that Derrick James got nervous, got scared, and essentially lost control, and essentially feel like he got stage fright, and he needs to make changes. He said he needs to bring in people in his corner, and he said that, or it's going to continue to go bad. And Robert Garcia, one thing I do like what he said in this video, in this interview, and shouts out to ES News. What I do like is what he said in this interview is he stated that he too had been in that position and he learned the hard way. So he's not speaking from a place of malice. He's saying, I was in that position. I learned the hard way, right? And if I could do things different, go back, I would do things different. So let's listen to what Robbie Garcia had to say regarding this situation. Let's listen.
3 or 4 fighters kicking ass, kicking ass, kicking ass. But then comes the time where they're fighting tough. Has 3 or 4 fighters kicking ass, kicking ass, kicking ass. But then comes the time where they're fighting tough. This year, with Spence and now with Charlo, we need to see a little bit of changes in the corner too. That's what I'm saying. You have a fighter, you have 3 or 4 fighters that are winning, that are in a good promotion. They're all being taken care of. You're winning, you're winning, you're winning. Opponents are perfect, winning, winning, winning. But then comes that one fight against Crawford, and I think Derrick James panicked a little, kind of got a little, oh, what the fuck, he's never been there before. Now, a couple months later, same shit happens again. That's a lot of learning for him. Also, it's gonna help him get better as a trainer. Still got his ass kicked.
So as you can see, he says that he needs to make adjustments in the corner. And he said that he panicked in the corner. He's never been there before. It's one thing when you have your fighters winning, winning, and winning, and they continue to win. But it's a whole another thing when your fighters are starting to face adversity and you have to make changes. And he stated that he felt like Derrick James panicked. And he attests to himself, and he stated in himself that there was times where he was in that position where his fighters was winning and winning and winning, and then all of a sudden they faced adversity, and he didn't make the necessary adjustments. Like he said, the Errol Spence fight, he said that he would have stopped it in the second round. Robert Garcia said that after he witnessed Errol Spence in the second round, he might have threw in the towel. He said he stopped the fight a little too late for his liking, and he feels like the fight should have been stopped. He says that he learned the hard way when he was training Antonio Margarito when he fought Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, and he suffered that horrific eye injury because he let the fight, him being that Robert Garcia, he let the fight go too far, right? So he says these are learning lessons that you learn in the corner, and unfortunately in the sport of boxing, you learn on the job. So Robbie Garcia, he feels like Derrick James panicked in the corner. I don't believe Derrick James panicked in the corner. I believe that when he was with Errol Spence, uh, and Errol Spence fought Terrence Crawford, I just think that Terrence Crawford was 2 steps ahead of Errol Spence in every aspect. He was faster than he was. He was stronger than he was. He had a better jab. He had better footwork. He had better defense. All the way around the board, he was just 2 steps ahead of Errol Spence. So whatever adjustments they attempted to make, uh, Terrence Crawford had made adjustments to their adjustment. Now, I will say there was mistakes that Errol Spence made prior to that fight that Terrence Crawford highlighted that I feel like Derrick James is on the hook for, because those are mistakes that he needs to clean up for uh, um, Errol Spence moving forward. As far as Jermell Charlo, we don't know. I don't think he panicked with Jermell Charlo because Jermell Charlo never got into the fight. He never committed. He never asserted himself. He never even tried. He was very cautious. He was more so looking to survive. So I can't blame that on Derrick James because we don't know, because Jermell Charlo never put his best foot forward to see what mistakes he would and would not have made. When it comes to Frank Martin wasn't listening until the end of the fight. And when he did listen to Derrick James, he got 2 knockdowns, and that separated himself and he won the fight. So I don't think that Derrick James panicked at all whatsoever. I do think that there's adjustments could be made for Errol Spence, but that's about it. So let's see what happens moving forward with these fighters. Let's see what happens with Jermell Charlo next. Let's see what happens Errol Spence in rematch with Terrence Crawford and what adjustments Derrick James made. And let's see what happens with Frank Martin when he get in the bigger fights of his life. So we still have yet to see. We got to see how Ryan Garcia fares under the tutelage of Derrick James. And we saw Anthony Joshua a few times, but it seemed like he going now into the biggest fight, one of the biggest fights of his career in January against Wilder. So we'll see how he looks. So let's see how it unfolds and plays out moving forward. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, and get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.